Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're tackling a fun problem called number of substrings with only ones. It sounds simple on the surface, but like many Leetcode problems, there's a neat trick to solving it efficiently. Let's break it down together. So here's the deal. We're given a string that's just a bunch of zeros and ones. Our job is to find every single substring, that is, any continuous piece of the string that is made up entirely of ones. We count them all up, and that's our answer. Oh, and since the number can get really big, we need to return the final count modulo 1,000,007. Don't worry, that part's easy. First, let's make sure we're on the same page about what a substring is. It's any continuous chunk of the original string. So if we have a string of 3 ones, we can have 3 substrings of length 1. We can have 2 substrings of length 2, the first 2 ones, and the last 2 ones. And finally, 1 substring of length 3, which is the whole thing. Add them all up, and we get 6. Let's apply this to the first example from the problem. The input string is 0110111. We can see that the problem really boils down to finding these groups, or blocks, of consecutive ones. There's a block of 2 ones, and then there's a block of 3 ones. Our total answer will be whatever we calculate for the 1 part, plus whatever we calculate for the 1 part. If we write out the number of substrings for blocks of ones of different lengths, a really nice pattern emerges. For a single one, we get 1 substring. For 2 ones, we get 3. For 3 ones, we get 6. For 4, we get 10. You might recognize these. They're called triangular numbers. Each result is just the sum of all integers, from 1 up to the length of the block. And the great thing about this pattern is that there's a super simple formula for it. Instead of adding up all those numbers one by one, we can just calculate it directly. For a block of length k, the total is k times k plus 1, with the whole thing divided by 2. This little formula is the heart of our solution. Just a quick heads up, we'll be walking through the solution using Python, but don't worry if that's not your main language. The logic is exactly the same everywhere. I'll be showing the full code for other popular languages like Java, C++, and JavaScript towards the end of the video. So our strategy is pretty straightforward. We'll walk through the string, character by character. We'll use a variable to keep track of how many ones we've seen in a row. As soon as we hit a 0, that means our streak is over. At that point, we'll use our math formula on the count of ones we just saw, add that number to our grand total, and then, this is important, we reset our consecutive ones, counter back to 0, to get ready for the next block. Okay, we've talked about the logic. Now let's see what this looks like as actual code. I'll put the full solution up on the screen first, and don't worry, after that, we'll walk through the most important parts together. Alright, here's the Python code. As you can see, it's pretty compact. It directly follows the logic we just discussed. Let's break it down piece by piece. The main part of the solution is this loop. We initialize our total and our consecutive counter to 0. Then, for each character in the string, we check, is it a 1? If it is, we just increment our consecutive counter. Easy. If it's a 0, that's our signal to act. We take the current value of the consecutive counter, plug it into our formula, add the result to our total, and then reset the consecutive counter back down to 0. Now, there's a classic edge case here. What if the string ends with ones, like 0, 1, 1? Our loop will finish, but because we never hit another 0, the calculation for that last block of ones never gets triggered inside the loop. That's why, after the loop is completely done, we have one final check. If our consecutive counter is still greater than 0, it means we have a leftover streak to process. We run the formula one last time before returning our final answer. And of course, we apply the modulo at the very end. So how efficient is this? For time complexity, it's big O of n, where n is the length of the string. This is because we make just a single pass through the input. And for space complexity, it's big O of 1, or constant space. We only need a couple of variables to store our counts, and that number doesn't change no matter how long the string is. It's about as efficient as you can get. Alright, that covers the main solution in Python. As promised, for those of you who code in other languages, I'm about to show the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. I won't be breaking these down, so just pause the video on your language of choice to check it out. Alright, as promised, here is the full solution in Java. You can see the logic is identical. We use long for our counters to avoid overflow before the final modulo. You can pause the video here to take a closer look at the implementation. Next up, here is the C++ version of the solution. Again, we use long to be safe with our calculations before taking the final modulo. Feel free to pause and review the code. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. The structure is exactly the same, iterating through the string and applying our formula. Hopefully, seeing it in a few different languages helps solidify the concepts. So let's wrap it up. The big takeaway here is to always start with small examples and look for a pattern. That pattern of triangular numbers led us to a simple mathematical formula, which made the solution way more efficient than trying to count every single substring manually. And as always, don't forget about those edge cases, like a string that ends with the pattern you're looking for. Alright, before we jump into the other languages, I want to quickly show you a personal project I built to solve a problem that always drove me crazy. It's an app called My Daily To-Do. My biggest frustration with every other to-do app was retyping the same things every single day. Go to the gym, review code, work on the daily Leetcode problem. You know the drill. So I built my app around one simple but powerful idea, separating your routine tasks from your one-off tasks. Routine tasks, marked with the little refresh icon, automatically reset for the next day. One-off tasks, like ship new feature, get the little puff of smoke icon, and they disappear for good once you're done. This small change turns a dumb checklist into a smart scheduler. If that sounds useful, you can try it right now on the web. The link is in the description. And one more thing I want to make super clear. Right now, as a thank you for being an early supporter, the app is 100% free. There are no ads and no subscriptions whatsoever. This means you get access to everything, including really powerful features like presets, which let you save entire task lists and load them with a single tap. Now, down the road, creating new presets will likely become part of a premium plan to help support the channel. But, and this is the important part, any presets you create now, while it's all free, are yours to keep and use forever. So it's the perfect time to check it out on the web, play with all the features, and build out your perfect setup at no cost. If you enjoyed this problem and want to keep practicing, the learning doesn't have to stop here. I've organized all my video solutions into handy playlists. Whether you're looking to grind through more Leetcode easy, medium, or hard problems, or you want to master a specific topic like sliding window or dynamic programming, I've got a playlist for you. It's the perfect way to focus your study sessions. Go to the Playlist tab and find a playlist that fits your goals. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems, so if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. If you want to support the channel, a few people have asked how I plan my solutions. I'm a big fan of sketching out the logic and data structures on a tablet before I code. It really helps. I've put affiliate links in the description to the tablet I use and a few other good options. Using those links doesn't cost you anything extra but really helps me out. Or, if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding and I'll catch you in the next one.